Have you ever walked out of your neighborhood Walmart or Kroger, loaded up with what you thought were the cheapest groceries in town, but left feeling like your wallet was just assaulted by a very polite mugger? You look at your receipt, you see those seemingly low prices, and you wonder, why am I still spending $400 on food I'll inevitably throw out by Tuesday? Or maybe you've had that specific feeling when you crack an egg from that budget carton and it's pale and runny like it's already given up on life. We have this idea, don't we? This collective delusion that saving money on groceries means sacrificing your self-respect or embracing the texture of cardboard. That's the myth the massive conglomerates, the Krogers, the Albertsons, the companies behind the generic brands in Target, want you to swallow because it's profitable. If they keep you convinced that anything under $5 a pound must be absolute garbage, they keep you overpaying. You are the victim of a multi-billion-dollar perception game, and today we're taking the controller. But we're not just going to complain. We're on a mission to build a grocery list that feels illegal. By the end of this video, you'll find out exactly which common US supermarket staples are basically marketing poison. I'm going to show you the precise, lab-verified substances lurking in products sitting in your kitchen right now. We'll break down which brands at Walmart, Costco, H-E-B, and Publix are genuinely cutting corners on your food. And yes, because we're not leaving you stranded, I will give you a list of specific, accessible, genuinely high-quality replacements that will actually save you cash. And stick around, because the single most unexpected example, the product that has fooled literally everyone, is waiting for you at number 1. But before we can get to the specific visual wreckage, we need a standard of measurement. We have to know why your groceries became a battlefield. This isn't just about a brand slap. This is about chemistry, engineering, and the systemic mechanics of deception. The fundamental strategy of the massive US grocery chain is built on something called a loss leader. They draw you in with cheap milk or bread, but they make up their insane profits on the thousands of other products in the center aisles. The packed goods, the freezer sections, the own brand items that have replaced independent suppliers. It's like buying a cheap razor, only to realize the blades cost more than your car insurance. They've optimized the science of filling your basket with high-margin, ultra-processed junk disguised as value. The industry calls this value engineering. I call it corporate alchemy, turning genuine ingredients into profitable sludge. They take real food, the thing that is built on raw materials, care, and actual nutritional value, and they systematically remove the expensive, nutritious parts. They swap high-quality fat for industrial seed oils. Your body doesn't know what to do with that vegetable oil mix. Replace real sugar with chemically derived high-fructose corn syrup and simulate taste and texture with laboratory emulsifiers, artificial flavors, and sodium counts that would terrify a desalination plant. It's like buying a luxury sedan only to find out the engine is made of Lego and the leather is recycled soda bottles. They're selling you an experience, not nourishment, and it's a beautifully profitable trap. Let's pull back the curtain on the actual culprits sitting on your kitchen shelves, starting with the least offensive and moving to the absolute masters of consumer deception. We begin with number 10, Great Value Gluten-Free Bread, available at every Walmart in the country. Walmart launched this line with a lot of fanfare, promising that families dealing with celiac disease wouldn't have to pay a premium. But according to a multi-year analysis by the Clean Label Project, budget gluten-free bakery items regularly rely on excessive amounts of heavy metal-absorbing binders like arsenic-retaining rice flour just to mimic the elasticity of gluten. If you've ever toasted a slice, you know exactly what I mean. It feels like rubberized foam, turns into literal sand in your mouth, and tastes like chalky disappointment. At nearly $6 a loaf, you are paying a premium for engineered dust. One parent on Reddit's celiac forum noted that feeding this to their kid was like giving them a piece of lightly flavored drywall. It's a cynical, corporate cash grab disguised as inclusivity. If you already feel like checking your own pantry, hit that subscribe button right now, because the corporate corner cutting gets a whole lot worse from here. Moving to number 9, the Walmart Great Value Frozen Chicken Tenders. Look at the packaging and you see images of crispy, golden, whole muscle white meat. But a class action lawsuit filed in California exposed that these tenders are frequently composed of mechanically separated chicken slurry, packed with up to 30% water and sodium phosphate solutions to artificially inflate the weight. When you bake them, that water evaporates, leaving you with a shriveled, rubbery nugget floating in a pool of gray grease. You think you're paying $3 a pound for meat, but you're actually paying for tap water and chemical glue. A consumer report on Consumer Affairs stated that these things look like sponges and taste like salted cardboard. It's not food, it's a structural engineering project. Which brings us to number 8, Market Pantry Pasta Sauce from Target. It's cheap, it looks cheerful, but look at the label. The second ingredient after tomato puree isn't olive oil or garlic, it's high fructose corn syrup. Food scientists at the Center for Science in the Public Interest have repeatedly warned that masking low-grade, acidic tomatoes with industrial corn sugar is the oldest trick in the book. It hits your tongue with a cloying, candy-like sweetness that completely obliterates any real herb flavor, leaving a greasy film on the roof of your mouth. At $1.50 a jar, it seems like a steal, but you're essentially buying a dessert sauce masquerading as dinner. A professional chef reviewed it online as glorified ketchup with an identity crisis. It's the ultimate illusion of convenience. Number 7 is Kroger's loose produce trap. Next time you walk into a Kroger or a Safeway, notice how the loose bell peppers or individual avocados are priced. A retail tracking study published by the Journal of Consumer Affairs showed that buying loose vegetables can work out to 75% more expensive per pound than buying the exact same produce pre-bagged in plastic. Industry does this because bagging automates inventory and removes the need for extra labor at the scales. But here is the kicker. That sealed plastic traps moisture, accelerating mold growth. You buy a bag of 3 bell peppers to save money, and by Wednesday, 2 of them have dissolved into a slimy gray liquid. It's a financial paradox that punishes you whether you choose the plastic or the loose shelf. Number 6. The Costco Kirkland Signature Olive Oil. People swear by Costco, but the olive oil supply chain is a global mafia game. Investigative journalist Tom Mueller, author of Extra Virginity, has detailed how massive batches of product of Italy olive oil are actually cheap Tunisians or Spanish seed oils blended, deodorized with chemicals, and shipped through Italian ports to get the label. When you pour it, it doesn't have that peppery, grassy kick of real extra virgin oil. It feels heavy, greasy, and smells faintly of old crayons. You think you're getting a massive gallon bargain, but you're frying your food in refined industrial fats. A review on a prominent culinary blog called it glorified engine lubricant. And now, number 5, the ultimate betrayal of trust. Kraft macaroni and cheese, a staple in every American household. Kraft Heinz is a corporate titan that has systematically value-engineered this product for decades to maximize shareholder returns. Laboratory testing by the Coalition for Safer Food Processing and Packaging found high concentrations of phthalates, chemical plasticizers, in the cheese powder, which migrate from the manufacturing equipment. The experience is iconic, but let's be real, that bright orange powder doesn't taste like cheddar. It tastes like salty chemicals and metallic processed whey. A food safety advocate famously stated that we are conditioning our children to prefer the taste of industrial plastics over real dairy. It's a cheap, toxic nostalgia trap that costs you your health while enriching a boardroom. And now, what it was worth watching all the way through for. We are stepping out of the corporate swamp of processed fillers and engineered chemical traps, and moving into the light of absolute grocery redemption. This is the section where your wallet gets its dignity back, and your kitchen becomes a place of genuine, high-quality nourishment without forcing you to mortgage your house. We are starting with the most affordable, mainstream victories and moving all the way up to the premium, artisanal holy grails that are sitting right now on the shelves of your local American supermarkets. First up, representing the ultimate triumph of budget-friendly perfection, is Trader Joe's organic Garofalo bronze dye pasta. If you have been buying standard supermarket pasta that cooks into a sticky, slimy, mushy mess, this is your wake-up call. Trader Joe's sources this specific line directly from Gragnano, Italy, where it is extruded through traditional bronze dyes rather than the slick, high-speed industrial plastic rollers used by massive commercial brands. This traditional manufacturing method creates a rough, porous, matte surface texture on the pasta that acts like a microscopic Velcro, grabbing onto your sauce and holding it instead of letting it slide off to the bottom of the bowl. When you bite into it, it gives you that perfect, firm, al dente bounce that feels like a high-end restaurant meal. Independent food critics and culinary testing labs consistently rate this line above expensive specialty imports, yet it sits on the shelf for just around $2 a bag, costing only pennies more per serving than the industrial starch slurry sold elsewhere. The only real downside is that Trader Joe's supply chains can be notoriously chaotic, meaning your favorite shape might vanish for a week or two, but when it's there, you stock up like the world is ending. Next on the list is the magnificent, unheralded workhorse of the dairy aisle, Costco's Kirkland Signature grass-fed butter. while massive dairy conglomerates are value engineering their butter by pumping it full of water and air to skimp on real milk fat. Costco partnered with authentic cooperatives to deliver a product made from the cream of cows that actually spend their days eating fresh pasture grass. Laboratory nutritional panels confirm that grass-fed butter contains significantly higher levels of heart-healthy omega-3 fatty acids and conjugated linoleic acid compared to factory-farmed alternatives. When you open a block, the difference hits you immediately in the face. It has a deep, natural golden yellow hue that looks like pure sunshine, completely unlike the pale, ghostly white blocks of standard corporate butter. It softens perfectly at room temperature, spreads like silk, and when you melt it in a pan, it releases a rich, nutty, complex aroma instead of just sputtering water grease everywhere. Sold in a massive 4-pack, it works out to a fraction of the cost per ounce compared to premium European brands, giving you luxury quality at a warehouse price point. Moving into the fresh meat department, we have the gold standard of supermarket poultry, Bell & Evans air-chilled chicken, widely available at Whole Foods, regional chains like Wegmans, and high-end local grocers. Most massive poultry producers use a process called water chilling, where thousands of slaughtered birds are dumped into a massive communal bath of chlorinated ice water. The chicken absorbs up to 12% of that chemical water weight, which you pay for by the pound at the register, and which bleeds out into your pan when you cook it, steaming the meat instead of searing it. Bell & Evans utilizes an advanced air chilling system where each bird passes through a sequence of cold purified air chambers. This process locks in the natural juices and results in a clean, pure, intensely chicken-forward flavor and a skin that crisps up to a flawless, shatteringly thin golden texture in the oven. Renowned food scientists and professional chefs openly advocate for air-chilled poultry because the meat remains structurally dense and tender. It carries a higher price tag per pound than the waterlogged factory birds at budget chains, but because you are not paying for chemically chlorinated tap water weight that evaporates during cooking. The real cost per serving is completely justified for anyone who values actual food safety and culinary integrity. Finally, for the absolute peak of liquid gold, we have California Olive Ranch Everyday Extra Virgin Olive Oil, a staple you can find on the shelves of Target, Kroger, and Safeway. While global olive oil conglomerates are playing shell games with rancid international blends, California Olive Ranch runs a completely transparent, state-of-the-art domestic operation. Their bottles carry the rigorous certification of the California Olive Oil Council, ensuring that every single drop is 100% authentic, unadulterated extra virgin oil harvested at the peak of freshness. When you pour it, the texture is clean, vibrant, and light. Take a small sip, and you will experience a bright, grassy flavor followed by a distinct, peppery kick at the back of your throat, the exact chemical signature of active, throat-protecting antioxidants that are completely missing from cheap, oxidized corporate oils. It is an investment in your health and your palate that completely transforms even the simplest salad or piece of toast into something extraordinary. When you are standing in the middle of a brightly lit aisle at Kroger or Safeway, surrounded by thousands of colorful packages screaming for your attention, you need a personal shield against corporate deception. Take out your phone right now and screenshot these 6 mandatory rules for navigating the modern American grocery store. First, turn the package around and immediately look at the ingredient list for hidden sugars. If high fructose corn syrup, cane sugar, or crystalline fructose appear within the first 4 ingredients of a savory product like pasta sauce or salad dressing, put it back on the shelf because it is engineered candy. Second, when buying chicken or pork at any major chain, inspect the fine print on the bottom of the tray for phrases like enhanced with up to 12% chicken broth or sodium phosphate solution. This is your definitive red flag that you are paying meat prices for chemically bound tap water weight. Third, look for the official California Olive Oil Council or Association of Italian Olive Oil Producers seals on extra virgin olive oil bottles. If a bottle merely says packed in Italy or product of the Mediterranean without a specific harvest date and trace certification, it is a chemically deodorized industrial blend. Fourth, check the sodium density relative to serving size on frozen meals. If a single serving contains more than 35% of your recommended daily value, the manufacturer is using heavy salt to mask low-grade, stale ingredients. Fifth, when shopping for dairy or beef, look for a verified grass-fed or pasture-raised certification label rather than the generic, unregulated marketing word natural, which means absolutely nothing under current federal guidelines. Sixth, examine the unit price on the shelf edge rather than the retail price tag, Mass-market grocery stores regularly price loose produce up to 75% higher per pound than bagged equivalents, punishing shoppers who assume unpackaged automatically means cheaper. The modern American food supply chain is not built to nourish your family. It is meticulously engineered by corporate boards to maximize shelf life, artificially inflate water weight, and substitute cheap chemical emulsifiers for real food integrity. To stop being a helpless victim of grocery store marketing, you must make a single, permanent shift in your shopping mindset. Stop buying labels, stop buying corporate nostalgia, and start reading chemical realities. Thank you so much for investing your time with me today to expose the games being played with your hard-earned money and your health. If this investigative breakdown brought real clarity to your life, please share this video with a friend or family member who still buys generic supermarket staples, thinking they are beating the system, because we have to look out for one another. I want to hear your voice directly, so leave a specific comment below telling me exactly which of these corporate grocery brands is sitting in your kitchen cabinets right now. Next week, we are taking our lab data,